Mr. Speaker, I rise to make my brief contribution in support of the Firearms Amendment Bill 2017. Mr. Speaker, as law-abiding citizens of any country, we would all agree that the justice system is a representation of the community's response to crime. This justice system provides a public acknowledgement of the crime and offers opportunity for redress. It is therefore imperative that any responsible government ensures that they take whatever measures afforded to them to enhance and strengthen the country's justice system. And so, Mr. Speaker, that is why, beginning yesterday and now continuing today, we are here debating the Firearms Amendment Bill 2017. This is government at work, yes, ensuring that at the legislative level, we give support to the justice system so as to be certain that they are able to effectively carry out their mandate of protecting the citizens of our country with strong and firm convictions. Excellent. Mr. Speaker, it should be noted, however, that the legislative response is but one part of the collective effort necessary to fight and prevent crime, and more specifically, that of violent gun-related crime. Beyond legislation, there are other factors that contribute to crime-fighting efforts. Component number one of this effort, Mr. Speaker, is for us to ensure that our law enforcement agencies are equipped with the necessary support and resources required for their effort. Mr. Speaker, it was back in December during my budget presentation that I highlighted the fact that our law enforcement agencies, through the budget presented for 2017, were being empowered at a level that we have never previously seen in our history. Now here we are in June of 2017, and we are noting, based on the Honorable Prime Minister's statement while moving this bill, that indeed there has been traction in the efforts to empower our law enforcement as outlined in the budget. We heard the Honorable Prime Minister speak to the fact that within the 2017 budget, we saw the highest level of budgetary support to national security at 72 million. This, Mr. Speaker, is an effort to fight crime. We heard him speak of the investment in technology with the inclusion of a comparison microscope that has helped the police match weapons to multiple crime scenes and incidents. This, Mr. Speaker, is an investment in crime-fighting initiatives. Yes. We were told of the investment in training and mentoring protocol structures and systems, particularly for the police. This, Mr. Speaker, is an investment in crime-fighting initiatives. We are all aware of the opening of the Second High Court and the collaborative effort with the Chief Justice to ensure a second High Court judge available in St. Kitts. This, Mr. Speaker, is an investment in crime-fighting initiatives. We should also take note of the initiative taken by the government to identify over 50 acres of land which will be made available to ex-convicts in efforts to assist them to reintegrate meaningfully back into society. This, Mr. Speaker, is an investment in crime-fighting initiatives. We should take note of the work that has already begun for the building of a new correctional facility at Estridge. This facility, Mr. Speaker, will serve not only as a holding cell, but as a rehabilitation facility that will assist in efforts of reshaping the mindset of persons who have already fallen into the trap of a life of criminality. This, Mr. Speaker, is an investment in crime-fighting initiatives. Component number 2 in our crime-fighting efforts are preventative in nature. And so, Mr. Speaker, when we welcome Dr. Chaitan to work with other stakeholders to deal with gangs and high-risk youths, among other efforts, Mr. Speaker, that was an investment in crime prevention methods.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, our investments in sports and TVET, which provides more options for constructive engagement, thereby creating a positive outlet for the high energy of our youth versus the option of a life of crime. Mr. Speaker, that is an investment in crime prevention methods. The introduction of the Boys Mentorship Program by the Ministry of Community Development, Gender Affairs and Social Services, which positively touches the lives of our most at-risk youth by introducing them to male mentors that can give them the support and guidance required of young men in the absence of their fathers, is an investment in crime prevention methods. The third component, Mr. Speaker, lies with society as a whole. Mr. Speaker, the government can only provide the requisite resources and support, be it legislative or otherwise. However, the question that we need to ask is how we are, as a broader society, contributing in these efforts. Our contribution can be as simple as saying something when we see something, and thereby assisting the law enforcement agencies in their efforts of bringing the criminal elements to justice. Our contribution can be through the re-establishment of community-led and community-based initiatives that provide positive outlets for our youths, be it through the arts or sports. Mr. Speaker, I am standing here today in my role as a humble servant of the people because of my strong belief in the important role that families play in shaping our society. And so, Mr. Speaker, I strongly believe that another of the contributions that society can make is through the re-injection of strong family values back into the fabric of our society through service, through our individual interactions, and through any opportunities for public engagement provided to us. The heart of any society is the family. The family unit can be considered the gatekeepers of the safety of our society. The family is where values are instilled from very early in the lives of our young men and women, and the family is where behavior patterns take root. It is therefore vital, Mr. Speaker, for families to embrace their role of shaping the mind and hearts of the youths entrusted in their care, and thus make a sound contribution in our efforts to fight crime. With these three components, two at the government level through crime fighting and crime prevention efforts, and that of the contribution of society as a whole, we therefore see that this legislative measure being sought for safe passage through this honorable House can be deemed as a final resort, one which, once we employ the efforts of the components above, should not be required. However, Mr. Speaker, in this very real world that we live in today, we know that indeed penalties are required as the breakdown in our moral fabric has already taken place. And now, as we work towards changing the levels of criminality which we have now had to endure, more forceful legislative measures are required. With the number of murder victims due to gun crimes that have been plaguing our society, as much as we focus on the victims, there are also the co-victims, the families that are left to mourn, who also require justice and closure. Mr. Speaker, I believe that an increase in the number of years one would serve for such crimes gives families of the victims a sense of relief to some extent. Just knowing that the perpetrator, even though they may have that chance of continued life, unlike that of their loved ones, at the very least, that individual would not be free to roam for up to 20 years, and that, in a sense, brings comfort to the family members. This leads me into my final argument in support of this legislation. And that is how I see this amendment as a vindication for the family that the justice system is indeed working on their side. Mr. Speaker, a bill alone cannot alleviate the issues that we are experiencing with crime. However, the multifaceted approach that is being undertaken by the Team Unity administration, which includes the increase of resources for all law enforcement, the continued investment in programs that focus on the empowerment of our youths, and continued efforts to support the needs of families will ensure that our country have what is required to accomplish the huge task in front of us. This bill is merely one necessary component of many in our efforts to fight and prevent crime. Mr. Speaker, as a woman and a mother, I empathize with those mothers who have lost sons and daughters. I recognize that with many households led by women, that crime disproportionately impacts women. I recall young Morella and young Lydia, who both lost their lives recently in Nevis. And as such, I call for greater protection of our women and girls, and I will continue to champion this cause. And so, Mr. Speaker, with these very brief remarks, I wish the Firearms Amendment Bill 2017 a safe passage through this honorable House. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Stay up to date with news, programs, and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. And watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.